have some businesses create a whole new unit. Because there are units Nigerian businesses do not invest in. When the recession came in, the IT units of most businesses were shut down. And what you had was one person probably just managing existing infrastructures. So a lot of them now wanting to come back, we find out, oh, they only have one person, and that person is most likely an hardware person, not even a software person, much less an online person. Some of them, we encourage them, okay, engage a digital marketer, engage a database person, depending on your need. And we work with them to ensure that they meet up that minimum standard so that when they go live, they don't have a problem with feedback. Now, one of the things we also do sometimes is, in a small business, which most of Nigerian businesses are small, at least most of those I work with. So what we do in such cases is, the owner is trained on using some of the softwares. So that I have a client that if you were to call me and say, oh, this client is doing this, I'll tell you, use the chat on their website. It's the owner that fixes it herself. You understand? That has given authenticity to them. Again, another thing we do is, Google has made something, there's a solution that Google has. It is free, but I always advise you get a professional to set you up, which allows you to set up your business without a website. You basically set up your business to be found online, but it doesn't mean you have a website. Okay? So when you set that up, you start doing...
Okay, I think
by the time your website comes up after doing your Google reviews, you put your Google review on your page, and that also adds authenticity to your business. One of the things you do at Point is also customized email, customized domain is a big deal. There are a lot of people who don't trust your... That is like vital to going online. So basically, at the end of the day, what we do, once we recognize the gaps, we work with the clients to ensure that the gaps are closed in the shortest time possible so that they can move on to what they actually came to us for initially.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much on those, Tolu. You've actually touched on a lot of things, and there are quite a few questions that are still hanging for me, and which I'll probably get back to you on much later. So for now, I'm just going to call on others as well. But please just hang on a lot of questions. Because I mean, like even going back to what I asked previously, someone was saying, you know what, look, if I tell these guys, oh, this is about integrity and livelihood, all the businesses that I've told you are not ready to go online, they didn't give me the contract anymore. All those guys I told, I'm ready to prepare for you, they gave me the contract. So, balancing, let me quickly answer that, because of course integrity is what we preach. But what is the experience like on the field? Does integrity take the place, or is it survival that actually that supersedes?
I have a few clients who I would tell you definitely integrity is top notch. A few of my clients are so particular, they strive to actually execute in real time what I recommend. But when we talk about survival, I have met some businesses who also say, come Tolu, how do we work around this? And there is a solution for your business regardless of the size. I must tell you that. Even if you're a one-man show, we will come up with something for you. But we're also going to make sure that what we come up with is realistic enough to convince, because there are different customer bases. If your customer base is somebody that just, maybe you're just selling clothes or shoes, they're the easiest to deal with. You're in retail items. We just have to make you trustworthy enough to receive maybe payment on credit, or ensure that you have a logistics in place to receive payment on delivery. You get that kind of thing. So that kind of business, there's something for them. But then there are the other businesses that require fabrication, customization, and we cannot be so lax with them. There has to be a verification process even ahead of deployment. And so with each client, that's why I said in the beginning that as a user experience designer, you have to like package something for each client. One thing I've learned is I work with whatever the client has available, but I don't sugarcoat it for them. I have a client that when I started working with her, I think the only thing she could do was send her email. Over the years, she has been my client now for over 7 years. And over the years, she responds to our own live chat. We developed a customized back office for her. She's able to work with her team from anywhere she is in the world. And initially, this lady couldn't even use, outside Google Mail, she was going to call me. If she got a new laptop, she couldn't set up Outlook.
Wow.
Right now, she sets up Outlook, she sets up signature for all her staff. In fact, she does alias for her staff. This was a process that took her time. But because she was willing to put in the work, I actually worked with her all through. And now, and when I started with her, she was even based in Nigeria. But right now, she could be in Spain, she could be in UK. And once in a while when she comes, she's like, man, Tolu, we need to renew. I have a new staff. Would you do the email or I should do it? You know, because she and her staff have gone through, they were doing repetitive training till they all got a hang of it. So it's really a factor of working with whatever each client has. You cannot come out and tell somebody you can't do it. I'm a user experience person. I develop your solution from the perspective of your customer. Keep that in mind. So as much as I'm working for you, I also have your customer in my mind. So I'm not trying to deny the customer access, but I'm having to look at what you have, you know, what your resources can take. I'm not going to look to overburden your resources. So most times, I don't think I've had any clients. Okay, maybe I've had one client who refused to work with me because I said I wasn't going to do the kind of website they wanted. They were going to do a website. And this client had done a website before, and then within a year, the business folded up.
Wow.
So the next time he came back and said, oh, they want to put up their website again. I asked, are you guys really ready? And he said, well, we're ready, but we are thinking if the website is up and people are seeing it. I now asked, I said, who is going to be the support person? The guy said, it's the one. I said, oh, guy, you don't have time. You have over 5 businesses. One of them is a transport business. You spend most of your time on the transport business. If you want me to do your site, employ one person that will be responsible for this one. That one person, I will train the person for you, but I cannot just, take your money, knowing that this website will not get the kind of service it needs. Because it's the kind of site that once I put it up, it's going to be getting affiliations from other websites, and it will rapidly drop in rank if they are not acting on it. And it was obvious they were not going to. So he told me, okay, I'll get back to you and all that. So he didn't do the website. So I called him a couple of months ago and was like, okay, what happened with your website? And he said, oh, he decided against the business. Now, what that tells me is I actually made the right decision. Because if I had done that website, I would probably have done it just because I wanted to collect his money. But I knew that business was not going to survive. I'm a user experience designer, not a user interface designer, which means I need to look at my clients' prospects. It don't make sense for me to list 7 clients and 6 of them are already folded up. That's not good for my own CV either. So in all my experience, I think I've been freelancing since 2005 till date. I've only had one client tell me, okay, I'm not going ahead because you said this. Every other client has always gone ahead. Some of my clients till now do not have a website because a number of them are small and they are still growing. But we've moved them to a level where they are well branded and they are using more guerrilla tactics to promote themselves. We find them affiliations, we find them exhibitions, we find them partner events and stuff like that to push them to the level where they can confidently keep a website up once they get it up. Because that's another thing. A website is up today, tomorrow is down, next year is up, no, it's back. It's better when you're well positioned, you have an idea of your annual cost for staying online, and that is feasible within your budget. Because it's a recurring. Being online is a recurring expense. Your business needs to be able to hold that up. You don't just go online and think it's a one-off thing. No. So there are a lot of things you can do ahead of having a website, which I also help a lot of my clients to like keep at. So I think that answers the question you asked.
Wow, so you really done very well. You really you know, like they say in school, in fact, you don't know about syllabus, so when the teacher goes like, read chapters 1 to 5, and you might not
book.
You've read the whole book, cover to cover, well done, so you've done well, really, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done. So we'll come back to you. There's still a few questions, but I'm just very mindful that we give others a bit of time. I know I did see them, Joshua, for a few people. Da Silva, let's hear from you. Da Silva, Da Silva. Okay. You can unmute yourself. Okay, I think they're having network challenges there. There have been a few people too who have messaged that they're having network challenges. But we're going to go right now. So I just want to ask now. With website, people say our websites pass their sell-by dates because, and this is to look, because the reason I ask is because. You see, most businesses focusing on, getting, the Facebook, the new media, exposure, the exposure that comes with new media, TikTok, all these things. And look, I've even seen in recent times, even the traditional markets, eBay, Amazon, of course, are still the big ones. Amazon still remains the giants out there, and of course, you've got Alibaba and all the foreign ones. But then you also have nowadays you see a lot of younger ones, the youth, the teenagers, they're buying stuff off TikTok market. So in fact, I didn't know for a long time until not long ago I actually made a few purchases off TikTok market as well. So people are going to ask you. Of course, I know and this is me. Of course, you reason that for issues of visibility, well, maybe not exactly visibility, but credibility and maybe validation, so to say. Because most big organizations are checking anyway. Since you have a website, what's on your website, and it just validates you kind of, like when I was doing the street triangle, this is authentic. Obviously authentic, so it gives you that authentic, quote unquote, sticker, if you could say that. So if I may ask, beyond authentication and validation publicly, what does the website still do for you nowadays? So look.
Okay. Let me explain. What a website is not the same thing as a social media account. A website is a virtual office. That's the number one thing a lot of people miss. A website is not just an online presence.
I don't want to interrupt you. I just only so that you're able to explain it further. If you're saying it's a virtual office, Facebook actually encourages that. For example, you have that same virtual office. In fact, you can put up your Facebook website, quote unquote page, you can put it on your business card, and you can send out the link. It leads them to the landing page, it provides you've got pages on it. So you've got page 1, which is the landing page, you've got the intro, you've got the contact. Yeah. So basically, so just exactly the same thing. So that's why I'm so that you clarify.
Now, let me explain this part. Facebook is like that office where the landlord can come in and boot you anytime, where the rules of your workplace is determined by the landlord. That is what your social media marketing is. Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, all of them. It is a sublet shop where your landlord can come in any day and say, I don't like the way you're sitting down. So, I don't want you sitting down anymore. I don't like the flyer you put up, so I don't want it anymore. That is Facebook, that is Instagram, that is social media marketing. Those are part of the options we give our clients who are working towards the website. But I'll tell you something. A lot of people do not read the tiny print involved in social media marketing. I've had a number of clients call me, or even my friends. Tolu, I don't know what is happening. Facebook is not letting me advertise. Instagram restricted my account. Twitter, I didn't let my advert run. I placed an advert and it didn't reach people. What happens is your landlord has rules that you have to abide by, whether it works for your business or not. Most of you are aware that I run Many-Thoughts Farm Depot. We advertise on social media, but I sort of got tired of advertising on social media because one of our key business areas, which is meat, is not allowed on social media. Wow. If, for example, you want to put a live chicken up, you cannot advertise live chicken.
Wow.
You cannot put up a video of some of the meat processing systems. It is not allowed on social media. You will get banned, you will get restricted.
Wow.
But if you have your own website, you could have your brochure with your images and everything. There's nobody coming to censor that. And that is why we tell you it is your virtual office. You are the owner. Yes, it does the same thing. You come into the reception, you have somebody welcome you, tell you about the business, you go in, you check the brochures, pick what you want. It is almost the same thing. But the key difference is that you're the landlord here. You're not under, so it's like a tenant situation and a landlord situation. Everybody wants to be a landlord. Nobody wants to be in a tenant status for life. So marketing in any other social media platform, whatever, is you being a tenant. Moving to your own website is you becoming a landlord. So it's the goal of every business to be a landlord and not be a tenant for life. I think that explains it.
Okay, so, and I'm going to take you up on that. Thanks so much, Tolu, for that. But straight away, if I want to take you up on that straight away, I'll go like AWS, which is the Amazon cloud service.
Yeah.
Sometime in 2017, I believe. 2021, I believe. Yeah, 2021. Actually, you withdrew the hosting services from Donald Trump's linked websites, some that were accused of spreading extremism and hate and false narratives, quote unquote. Now that was a landlord putting them out, and that's a website. Well, those were websites. So because behind that, you still got the, of course, you got your hosts. Your hosts are also going where they go where they put that. So a lot of this infrastructure they rely on AWS. So when you look at it, irrespective of which angle you look at it.
Let me give you. I'll tell you.
Amazon Web Services. Okay, go on.
As a Nigerian hosting my website, do you realize I would not host on an American server?
Why not?
Because they yank us off like anything. Your site will be down like NEPA.
But why? Is it?
It's a political thing.
Okay.
It's a political. It's the same. We begin to talk about technology solutions the same way we talk about migration solutions. So when you're going to select, if you get a proposal for a website, you would normally get your designer recommending the host. Because most times, the host matters. If you insist on using a particular host, it's at your own risk. Your host is a factor of your uptime, a factor of your bandwidth, availability, a factor of a lot of things. So one of my own role is to make sure that my client is hosted with someone that is legit, that would not go political on the website. And one of the things, there was a time I had to move my clients off a particular service provider. Because I noticed, as at that time, we're using the service provider, and then something was happening on the political scene, and then we noticed they were just bringing down Nigerian websites. They didn't bring us down. But the moment I noticed, when my client was due for a renewal, I migrated their website. Like 3 months before their renewal, so there was no downtime. That is one of the roles. That is why when people tell me, oh, I can do it, I can do it. You know, it's very okay to say, okay, go ahead and do it. But, you know, that's something somebody that is not in the business would not understand. What you're saying does happen. If two giants are fighting and your host happens to be one of them, once they start backing, don't even wait for them to bite. You migrate your client. You migrate your client. But as a business owner, you probably would not be able to follow that trend. It would not interest you. Imagine a retailer having to supervise whether America has a server agreement with Nigeria, or whether China is allowing Nigerian services hosts, or whether India is accommodating. You would not be able to follow all that trend. My role as a user experience designer is to follow that trend.
Wow, great job. Thank you so much. You've actually clarified a lot of things in that area. You know, I'm just like, you know, because a lot of people are, you know, in addition, of course, the issue of cost does come in as well. And it's a lot, it saves a lot of money. If you don't have to, you know, have all these things that come with that, putting up a website, you know, you pay the site engineer, you pay the UX person, you know, so a lot of videos, and of course there's hosting as well. You got to do that on a regular basis. You know, so
but you know, that is where, sorry, you know, that's where I tell people, I tend to be a better solution than most people. Now, that's me marketing myself. Because I happen to be a user experience designer with a background in user interface design. I actually studied art and multimedia before moving into database administration and programming, before moving into user experience. So for somebody like me working independently, I come with a background that crosses the industry. So most times, except it's a major project, in which case, of course, the client also has a big budget, I'm able to actually execute independently most times. So a number of times, it actually works out. Okay, let me give you an example. The last place I worked, I will not mention the name. When I left, I resigned. I wasn't sacked. I never got sacked. So that's a joke somebody tells me, like, I'm that employee that was just so confident I knew I couldn't get sacked. But where I worked last, when I left, the project I left, they needed 2 people to finish it. They had to employ a programmer and a designer. But it was not, I was the only person working on it while I was there. But when I left, they couldn't find one person to fit that role. So they had to employ 2 people, 2 different skill sets for a job I was doing on my own. So that is one of the advantages that I think my clients enjoy. I do their copy. If I'm handling their social media, I do the designs, I do the copies, and I still manage it for them. If you were to employ somebody with a specific skill set, you would have somebody design your graphics, you would have somebody work on your copy, and you would have somebody else manage your social media. That's 3 different roles. In a multinational, that would be 3 different roles. But I will do that for my clients, all 3, because, you know.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tolu. That's Tolu Alagbedamola. And so, if someone wants to get in touch with you, how would they get in touch with you?
My phone number is public. 070-675-77077. Or you can always send me an email, solution@gmail.com.
Can you repeat the phone number and email once again?
070
Yeah.
675
Yeah.
77077.
Okay. Thank you. And then the email address now.
The email is tolusheunfawole@gmail.com.
tolusheunfawole@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure. Thank you so much, Tolu. Please stay grounded there, because I'm coming. We're coming back to you again. I've got someone on Galaxy Ultra 5G. Who's that? Who's that? Galaxy Ultra 5G. Can you unmute? Who's that, please? Let's know who that is. Okay, there's someone online with that, so we're just trying to get you to be part of the conversation, but that's fine. I just want to thank you for joining. It's been a very enlightening time. It's about talking about businesses and encouraging people to put it out there. Tolu has been talking to us for approximately the last 45 minutes or thereabout, talking about our business. She's a UX person that's user experience, and she's trying to differentiate between a user interface person and a user experience person, obviously. And also she's explained quite a lot of things about the importance of, irrespective of what the social media has brought on the table today, that it's still very important, very key, indeed very germane as well. That everybody still makes that effort. If you really want to grow your business, you want to go out there, put it for people out there in the public domain, that it's very, very important that you also, as a rule, have a website which is your landing page. Of course, she said something which was very interesting when I asked a question. I mean, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's TikTok, there's Twitter, there's Snapchat. You got the entire things there. Why would someone have to go to all the stress of maintaining the website, paying a site engineer, a webmaster, paying for hosting and everything? Of course, she just said that one of the biggest things that stand them out from each of the options will be that, with Facebook and all the social media thing, you're absolutely operating at the landlord's mercy. And so Facebook and all of them could actually come and then throw you out. Obviously, there got to be some infractions, or it could even be not necessarily infractions. There is risk appetite, quote unquote, if you're going to call it, and actually change, and you can just go like, we're adding too much stress, or too much bad press. Hosting this type of businesses on our site, and we'll just rather not do them again, and then they just they give them notice 2 days, 3 days, or maximum 2 weeks, and they put them out, and that's it. Or whatever notice they'll give, even if it's 28 days, still a notice. It still comes to play at some point. And that's it. And then you've got to find yourself another place for your website. More often than not, that is yours, your presence, so long as you're paying the fees, you're renewing your domain, obviously, if you have a packet class, someone like Tolu does everything for you, make sure your domain is paid for regularly, the hosting plan is done, everything, so basically, that is it. So she's been talking about it for the past, now we're just going to be maybe another 10 minutes, not more than that maximum, and we'll be rounding off tonight's session. So Tolu did mention that you did mention farm there. Are you into farming as well? With all this, how do you combine it, and what? When you say farming, are you some people say quote unquote using the Yoruba word away farm, the two-stop farm where you just got a few start doing some. You buy, basically still buying and selling, but buy, go to the smaller farms, buy in bulk, bring to your farm and then sell on a retail plan, so. And some call that farm as well. And for me, it's not about whether it's right or wrong yet. Is that what you do, or are you actually into farming? And what's your experience like? What is going on? And is it true that you farmers are actually the ones actually helping to drive off inflation at such a terrible rate? Because I was speaking with someone yesterday and saying, still having a conversation regularly. Recently, someone selling tomato, and the women just kept blaming forex. The exchange rates of the naira to the dollar for increase of material. And you're like, okay, is it? But there's some materials that went into that, like fertilizers were they imported? What was it? Or do they get a private jet to take them from the farm to the market? Or could it be one of those wonderful women and men are trying to say is just that, we too have to take money out there to buy things, to pay school fees, to buy stuff for our children, and quite a lot of these things, are the mercy of the, vagaries of the exchange rate and all things. So if we are suffering that, this is where we get, this is the only place we get our money, quote unquote, and we've also got to put a premium on these prices, so that at least we're able to meet up with those. Is that what they're saying? And also, so are you a farmer? Tell us about the farm. What is it? What do you sell? And all things like. Hello, Tolu. Just unmute yourself. All you need is just unmute.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah, go on now.
Okay, sorry, I was off for a while there.
Yeah, so basically, I was say you mentioned farming there. You say you're into farming. What sort of farming do you do?
Okay.
Are you a buy and sell kind of farmer who only just goes to buy produce, farm produce in bulk?
No.
And then you repackage and and then sell on the farm. Is that what you do, or are you a farmer per se?
I'm actually involved in the entire value chain. I'm recognized by the Lagos State as a poultry farmer. And I also have a crop farm in Ogun State.
Did you say crop farm?
No, a crop farm. A farm where we plant.
Sorry.
Maize, plantains.
Okay.
We have maize, we have plantains, we have pineapples on the farm.
Okay.
So then in Lagos, we actually have a poultry processing facility, which was supported by the Lagos State government a couple of years ago under the World Bank project, where we process chicken and we sell, frozen chicken. One of the major things about our farming is that we're basically into organic farming. We're members of OFAN. That's the Organic Farmers and Researchers Association of Nigeria. Now, what that means is that we plant crops and raise livestock without the use of antibiotics or synthetic fertilizers. Which means some people cannot eat food that are not raised naturally for health reasons. One of such classes of people are often cancer patients. So we are targeted at that exclusive health market that is avoiding steroids, antibiotics, and the like. So we raise these things. We have. I also have a cooperative of farmers. What I do with them is I train people who have little spaces within Lagos and environ. So they raise the birds organically. When they raise them, we take it off them for the prevailing market rate, and we process and sell. The goal is to reduce the cost of logistics in sourcing organic meat for people who need it in Lagos. So I cannot say I buy from people, but what I do is I have my cooperatives, people that are trained in organic farming, but they do not have a market. The goal is they just raise whatever they can raise, and then we take it off them as long as they are following the established organic protocols.
Wow.
So,
thank you so much for. And what about your farm based? How can we locate you, for example?
Our farm is in Ogun State, Elere Itori to be precise, but the outlet is in Lagos, in Agege. Yes. Agege, number 6 Oduale. In Agege, that's where the outlet is located. But the farm itself is in Itori in Ogun State.
Okay.
Looking to reach me for the agri produce. We're on Instagram as farmdepot_ng.
Can you say that again, please?
farmdepot_ng on Instagram. Then farmdepot_ng on Facebook.
Wow. Thank you so much. Well done. Thank you so much, Tolu. I just want to congratulate you and say well done, for it was our president that called many Nigerian young ones and said lazy Nigerian youths. Congratulations for not being one of the whatever Baba means. Baba has some of those things. For not being one of the lazy Nigerian youths.
Yes, sir.
The fact is, of course, in every population, there are always lazy people, but Nigerian youths are so intelligent.
Not
so this brain, is just always, and I know that given the right opportunities, quite also some that just all they want to do is just to be social media superstars. They want to be influencers and nothing else.
Yeah.
No work, nothing. So and they will never pay you any more. Just
out of 200 million, that population is less than 1%.
Absolutely, I agree with you, and that's so Nigerian youths. When you see Nigerian youths turning, you just wonder how they come about that idea. So, and of course, those guys are made millions from Paystack. Those are Nigerian youths as well. Paystack. How did those two boys come up with the idea of Paystack? How did they do it? And I always still say to myself till today, how come they did not announce it and I don't even invest? Just for example, even invest 1,000 naira, because that's not what I mean. But you know what?
Oh yeah.
What would that money have become? So Nigerian youths are not lazy. I'm just hoping that God will grant us the foresight. Another Paystack is already working somewhere. It's only like using the Nigeria street lingo. When they know that, then people will know them,
Yeah.
So, but Nigerian youths are, I just want to comment.
That's a fact.
Absolutely. Nigerian youths are very, very, very.
Because I remember when I said I was doing strictly organic, people came and said, no, start bringing chicken from Cotonou, and I said, no, I will not eat Cotonou. I want Nigerian chicken and I want to raise the Nigerian way. And that was how I started.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. But some people are probably going to say to you that all we want is just cheap, the cheapest.
Oh yeah, there are those people have their markets everywhere.
Yeah.
But what of something for those people who are on a health line, on an health spectrum for whatever reason, and because everybody is afraid about the injection in the chicken's thigh, they can never eat drumstick. Or because they are concerned about the level of antibiotics given to the chicken or the steroids, they cannot eat poultry or meat. Wow. Or because they can only eat grass-fed meat, they hardly eat meat.
Wow.
There is that niche. See, the thing with, I tell people is, you just need to look. Even in that saturated market, there is a need. And I tell you, one of the things, the other time I was talking about being a user experience designer, one of the things it taught me is what we call equity. There is somebody that wants this thing and for some reason is not able to get it. So why? And that is when you begin to discover new solutions, new businesses. There's always new businesses. You just need to look. You just need to look. There is always somebody who is interested, but for some reason, they can't get it. If you focus on those people and try to resolve why they are not getting these things, you'll find out a new business will come up.
Wow.
If you're doing apart from there's PayU, there's a lot of e-commerce banking whatever coming up now. They all latched onto the solution of access to finance, and now there's a lot of them everywhere. The loan sharks and co.
Yeah, but the loan sharks I mean, the central bank has done it, the federal government and the central bank, they've done a lot in recent times, in recent weeks and months.
Oh, yeah.
To try to get rid of them, because how did they come about, unlicensed? And you just read things online that they were threatening people, they were cursing them. You also read a lot of bad cases as well. That I took their money, me, I'm not going to pay. And you go like, this is why people are not lending to you, because if we've got bad character, bad behavior, when you take money with the intention of not paying back,
exactly. The fact is, I always say this. One of the things, the problems with Nigerian solutions is that we try to criminalize everything instead of trying to find a common ground. Mm-hmm. You see, the loan sharks are actually solving a problem, yes. However, they are doing it the wrong way. How about the CBN tries to regulate them in a way that will still work, maybe limit their capabilities, provide a level of insurance for them. We have BVN, we have NIN, we have a lot of ways to get people nowadays. What if they just allowed them that level of synchronization? Because sometimes criminalizing something only makes it more exciting. Especially when there's a large part of the community that feels they are solving a problem. Sorry to take time on this, but there was something I was discussing with somebody recently. When Nigerians want to talk, when Africans in general want to talk about the slave trade, we talk about the whites. But I told somebody something. I thought, but it was the blacks that were selling to the white. There was a market for slaves before the white man.
Absolutely.
So wait, can we all get focused and realize that there was a market? What is the problem? That the white man came to the market. Before the white man came, the black man was buying. So there is a need for easier access to financing for grassroots people. For people that do not have collaterals, for people that do not have an uncle that has a land in Ikoyi, there is a need for 20,000 naira loan, 30,000 naira loan that they won't disturb you for maybe a month and then you pay the next month. The banks either need to adjust their system to suit it, which some banks are doing. I can actually vouch for that. But then even the bank opening process is discouraging for some people. Do you get my point?
I get the point. Yeah.
So let me get, I've been trying to register my son's SIM card for over 3 weeks. The same NIN I've been using is suddenly said not to be working.
Wow.
So I had to bring out the SIM in my MiFi and give it to my son. Now, assuming I needed the SIM card because I wanted to get a loan or I wanted to register at a bank, NIN is not working, so SIM is not working. So how do I do it? Okay. So we need to work on all these things. We cannot just keep shutting down solutions that actually address a sector of the community without giving them an effective alternative.
Yes, but if you're saying that government should not shut down illegality, some of those loan sharks have been
shut them down. I'm saying the banking sector needs to give them an alternative that works for them.
Yeah, but if you have the banking sector, I've heard several stories of people actually saying, well, I thank God that the government is even clamping down on them because me, I have no intention of paying my.
I read it too.
You read so many people say that. So many people, not just one, not two, not three. And you go like this.
That's why I see. That's why I said, if you have NIN, let us say, if you have NIN, you can take a loan of up to 20 or 50,000. Number one, this would encourage people to get their NIN. With your NIN, government knows where you are. They have your phone number, they have everything.
Can I disagree with you on that? Because
okay.
A loan is not a function of your identity. Even in the Western world, your identity only establishes that you're a legit human being. And also tells them where you are. But it is always stated that the loan is subject to checks and subject to you've got to qualify for it. Your ability, there's got the character, there's got to the capacity, you've got to be able to pay back.
I understand your point, but that's some of the basic criteria used by these people to give out loans. And that is why people that would ordinarily not be able to access loans are able to access them through the loan sharks. So they need to find a middle ground somewhere. If it's their BVN they want to use, no problem. If it's there, they need to find somehow. I know somebody who took a loan just to start selling bread. She took 20,000 naira just to start selling bread.
Yeah, that's good.
She doesn't even have a bank account.
That's good. Is
that but she would not get that from the bank. So those are the kind of people I'm talking about.
Yes, but the banks, you can actually get that from the banks, because that's why you got microfinance banks. There are various strata of banks. You've got of course, you've got the central bank being the banker of government banker of last resort and everything.
This is where credibility comes in.
And
a number of microfinance, like the way microfinance folds up in Nigeria.
They fold up.
The way microfinance folds up in Nigeria. There was one that was a fake microfinance. They opened a branch, collected money, and then they folded up after 4 months.
But I do ask a question that, of course, that could be a fraud thing. But I do ask a question that in certain cases that the microfinance banks, the banks generally they're folding up because people are really very dishonest to credit in terms of credit. Because if my business is to create loans and all those things, and to the market, and if you're not paying me back, you're destroying the business, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
That's why they need to study themselves and come up with a more a solution that works and is legal.
Okay. Thank you so much. You've been really brilliant tonight. Whenever you're in your element like this, you just go on and on and on and on. So it's so good to have caught you on a good day. We have Brother Lukman Ayole. Brother Lukman Ayole, please, if you just unmute yourself, today we're talking about businesses, and Tolu has been discussing our businesses. She's a UX person. If you're doing your website, all those things, this is the best person to call. She's giving our numbers and our email address. She's also into farming. She sells farm produce and some of those things. Farm produce. So good thing you work with the vehicle inspection service in Lagos. You're responsible for the MOT. And you're very close within the government circles about now the auctioning of vehicles in Lagos. Shehu Sani, former Senator Shehu Sani, came out today. I was today about this. He said, "Well, that's too harsh and that it's improper." And of course, there's that story of the guy whose livelihood actually was back downfall bus that he uses for public transport, and which was seized and was to be auctioned, and of course he went to people contributed money and he was able to buy it back. So of course quite a lot of these things, sentiments do come in, let's face it, because in the Western world, many of us want to, when we get to the Western countries, we obey the law instantly. We don't you dare not drive against, in fact, if you drive against traffic, that can actually lead to your deportation if you're not really standing properly, because that's a crime. One gets you through the police, then gets your details into the police database, you get your into everything, you go to court, and if you consider it serious, driving against traffic is a very serious, because that's potential accident. It can cause severe loss of lives and all things. So at times people serve their sentences and they deport them straight away. So people will not try this, abroad. It's a fact, So, but of course, when things like this happen in our country, they start shouting that what's the big deal and all those things. So, you're close to the to where these decisions are always taken. What are your views, and what exactly is happening there? Let's hear from you.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Actually, my network is bad. I've been trying to join things I could not, but even when I joined, I hardly hear some of the things you are saying. But from what you said, I can pick that you talk about auctioning of vehicles and also
by Lagos government.
Yeah. By Lagos government, yeah. The auctioning of vehicles. To be sincere with you, sir, I discovered that in Nigeria, especially in Lagos State, people don't obey the law until you force them. Until you force them. Before, all these things were just fine. They'll just give you a fine, you pay, and you go. But at the long run, they discovered that still people still drive against traffic one way. In fact, that was one of the reasons why the ban of
Oh wow, his connection has. You already mentioned that his connection is really good.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go on now. We can hear you now.
The connection is back. So that was why they had to ban bike in Lagos State, some local government, because they will still follow one way. Even the BRT lane, on several occasions, people have been told not to pass through that road, yet they still do it. So it has been fine. Long on. The only idea is just to prevent them from doing it. If you don't do it, they will not show your vehicle. So I don't see reason why people now cry foul when you come there. So even in Western world, you don't disobey their law. Let's be sincere with that. You don't disobey their laws. As an officer, I even many times I do tell my brothers. Once something, there was a time that one of my immediate senior brother vehicle, the windscreen cracked, and I told him, don't drive this thing until you change it. Normally he might believe he has a brother there that he can easily call whatsoever, but don't like things have changed because Lagos is improving every day. Because Lagos is improving every day. Even they can issue a ticket for you. We have a guy that do that. Our officers do go on the way with it. They can issue it immediately without even getting to the office. But the most important thing is we must not disobey all this. Till today, will you believe that people still follow that one way?
Wow.
Until they are caught. And it causes so many accidents. On Fada Road there. You know, most of the bikes, they do follow one way. Or Fada, those that are very close to this area, this Fada and all that area. They do follow one way every blessed day. There was a time a boy was coming from the other side and wanted to cross. Without knowing, and they will be running. When they follow one way, they don't walk slowly, they will be running. The bike hit that boy, and that boy died immediately.
Oh my God!
Must we continue to lose people's life because some persons are disobeying the rules and regulations? Most of them believe when you do something, you just find a way to settle and go.
Wow. Thank you so much. I know your connection is playing up. Let's just see if we can get you back once more. Otherwise, if not, we'll just call it a night. It's been so enlightening. Hello, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just call it a night at this point. Okay, you're back. Okay, are you back now? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay, so you're back. Finalize. So just finish up. We can hear you now. Go on. We can hear you.
Before it was when you committed offense like that, they'll just give you a fine. Your vehicle will be there. In fact, before government could think of auctioning your vehicle, some vehicles it must have taken maybe 5 or 6 years. When they didn't see you, they don't come, or sometimes even 7 years. We have even in our office there, we have vehicles that have been there for 3 years now. That people don't come for them. But when people keep disobeying that law and they keep taking human life, we must value life more than the ban of Okada now. If you go to general hospitals, it has reduced the issue of broken leg, broken arm, whatever. Anybody can go there to confirm. The general hospital at College Road here, close to us by here. There was a time that I do go there when my mom was sick. That I do go every day that time. Will you believe that every day that I go there, they must bring somebody, either from Mawa or Okada accident. Somebody must come there every day. If I go there every day, I will not be asking, is it every day that people have accident? Because of careless and reckless driving. If you don't, you see some people, even there are some commercial drivers that have been driving for 20 years now without any form of accident whatsoever, because they are careful. So we shouldn't be blaming government because of our own lawlessness. If you don't drive against one way, nobody will stop you and tell you drive against one way, I want to auction your vehicle. Nobody. So the basis is just for us to follow the rules and regulations. A man came from US some other time and was complaining. Now in my office, he came for inspection. He was complaining, he was talking, yes, nigga, this and that, Lagos State, you do this, you do that. And I asked him, I said, sir, thank God you said you based in US. In US, can you do everything you've mentioned? Can you do them in US? We can't do them, but you know, there's no excuse. We don't have excuse for lawlessness. There's no excuse for it. So that's the little thing I can say about this, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, brother. You know, you're an authority on this. You're very close to that circle. You know, so. I just want to thank you for that expose, for enlightening us, so to say. Really appreciate you. Please keep up the good work, and hopefully Nigeria, as of course, the last one have come out to say that the recent story of the social media thing about, you know, a last one vehicle driving against traffic, they've come out and said that was 2020, that vehicle was since burned, and quite a lot of, we don't know whether that's true or not, but let's assume that it's true for once. But at least what it means is that there's citizen reportage now. So, and of course, the other day, the security aid to the governor, you know, also saw this man driving against traffic near CNS, going down towards Tafawa Balewa in Lagos Island, you know, and basically forced the guy to, you know, to reverse back. You know, there's just, but at least the good thing about it is, you know, there's that thing about the citizens now taking responsibility for photographing, videoing those who are recording those, video recording those who are doing perpetrating these illegal. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go on.
Hello, sir.
Hello, we can hear you. Go on, we can hear you.
Yes, you are right on what you just said. Yeah. To be sincere with you, sir, even in my office, the VIS, I mean our patrol van, if you drive our patrol van against one way, or you pass through the BRT lane, if you see that, just call our office, or maybe you report that you saw your men, this and that, and you just tell them the number. I'm telling you, they'll be dealt with. Wow. There was a time, just because of traffic light, one of our patrol van mistakenly, I don't know, maybe it was according to the guy, he said the light was on green when he wanted to pass. but the red line now catch up with him. Without knowing that our director was coming along that same road, immediately he has to call. They have to summon the person just because he drive against. He didn't wait for the traffic light to actually point on remain on green. So they do take action against them also. Despite the fact that you are driving a patrol van, we don't encourage that. For last month, I don't know. You know, we are in different agencies actually, so I don't know much about that. But the truth of the matter is, when you make a report about any officer, like somebody was telling me some what was it last week about how some officers stop him and do this and do that. I told him the problem, most of you don't do the right thing at the right time. When you have a case, you have your evidence, go to Ministry of Transportation. The current PS is a man with good integrity, including our director presently, the director of BR. He doesn't take shit. He will tell you, I don't have time for you. He will misbehave, I'll deal with you. They will definitely take action towards that. But people sometimes they'll just believe you did this, they'll not go online, they believe that's the best way to solve it. They'll go online making noise without doing the right thing. Before I joined BIS, as a student, I'm talking as a student, there was a time that some NEPA officials came to my house to cut light. We live in an estate then. They came to cut light. I wanted to go and pay for that month, and for only that month too. We've paid the previous ones. So I wanted to go and pay that money. It was on Saturday morning. On my way going, I now saw them come, and I have to come back to the estate. When I met them, I told them, you can see, I was on my way. I saw you people coming. Before they even entered the gate, that I wanted to go and pay the money. They are now telling me they can't wait for me to go and pay and come back, this and that. So I have to wait, pleading to them. I will show you. I can come to show you the payment, whatever. They said no. We believe that even in my presence, those that are only 8 months, 10 months, they collected money for them without cutting their life, and they have to bring down my own wire because of that.
Wow.
Now, that very day, I went to the office to see one of them. But as a student, I'm talking as a student, to see one of them, and I make a report on that. We believe that the boss now have to tell them to carry their vehicle and go back to that estate to fix that light back. And they gave the man query on that.
Wow.
They gave the man query. So we just assume Nigeria is lawless. When you do something, you won't pay for it. It's not. It's because we are not doing the right thing. We don't do the right thing. We don't do the next thing, the right thing to do when issues occur. That is just the problem. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for helping shed light on this. Thank you so much. It's always good to, whenever these issues come up, it's always very, it makes one happy that you're there, and you've got first-hand information, and you're very close to where these decisions are made, and could always clarify a few things with you. Thank you for joining us once again. Thank you, Tolu. Thank you, everyone that has joined tonight. It's been such a fantastic time. We've talked about businesses, and of course, we've talked about the auctioning of vehicles in Lagos. I just want to appreciate everybody for joining us. Next week, Sunday, we're coming at the same time, 6 p.m. We're having two very special, another set of very special guests in our midst. We'll be discussing still on the topic of 2023 because of course campaigns will start. I believe it is the 28th of September, if I'm correct, Wednesday the 20th of September. We're just 10 days away from there, and of course everyone is excited, and of course yesterday we had that will be on the CNN interview. It's elicited quite a lot of comments. Quite a lot were very negative, some were positive, and of course over the weekend as well we've had the instance of candidates of the APC Tinubu sleeping in public. Some have said it shows that he should not even be running at all. And of course, his defenders have come out to say, well, look, even, Obasanjo just slept, so many people slept, but, and of course, you have Atiku as well, and all the problems in the PDP, they came out with the list of the campaign council, and very interestingly, the man who stepped down to help him to win the nomination during the convention, Right Honorable, the governor of Sokoto State, Right Honorable Waziri Tambuwal, was made the chairman, the director general, which is actually the main key executive position. And of course, people have also said they're trying to break the rank of the southern governors by making Governor Udom Emmanuel the chairman. Of course, the chairman is like you're just like an honorary position. Of course, they've still got influence, but the DG is the main one. And of course, some will argue that the DG is not the main one as the chairman, but different perspectives are there. And of course, so issues still go on there. And you also have the situation of, and you have the article coming out to say things like, when he becomes, if he becomes elected the president, that he will, deregulates the electricity supply. And people have said to him, that shows you're not even in Nigeria, that you're in Dubai, that this government has already done that. And of course, we saw some social media things about that's why you should always be staying in your own country. And of course, when you go to this, you see the presidential candidate Tunumika Chiku has been expelled by his own party. You go like, what is really going on there? And of course, you got Kwankwaso and his crowd as well. He was in Delta yesterday, I believe, or was it today? And then, of course, they continue to complain that some of their offices are being demolished by government across some states and everything. So there's quite a lot going on. I will be continuing these conversations next week. Just want to thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful week. God bless you.
Recording stopped.